for example, this one, if I split vertically from here, it will be shorter. Now it is split like this vertically. I want to merge, because the notes, you can see from the notes table here, from the order table, the notes have lots of text. So I would like the notes here to be a little bit bigger. So what I will do, I'll click here and click Control on my keyboard, then click here. So I can choose Arrange, then Merge. If I do that, now I have the merging here. Can make it even bigger in here, and I click Merge. So the user can have much more space to put more notes and so on. In here, I will insert above. So I do that because I will show you later on how we do the buttons. Now, are we shabab clear regarding everything we've done? I'll recap. The design, I have buttons, I will work on them right now, and property sheet, I will work with them right now. The arrange, we've done the arrange. It's the most fun part. Just arranging things in a table, splitting, merging, inserting, and so on. And the format, just formatting the items in a specific way. Do we have questions so far?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes. Go ahead.
About the colors, you ask us to don't use the ones is already there.
What is it?
The colors for designing.
Yes.
You ask us to do the ones it's not already there.
I don't know what you mean. It's not already there.
في جاهزة، في أطباق زي القوالب جاهزة.
The themes.
You mean themes?
Yeah.
I specifically said I don't want to use it. I do not.
The reason you said something.
Yes. I do not want you to use the theme, basically because I want you to work a little bit harder and do it manually. And the second reason, which is the main one, is that themes, when you do the themes, it will be applied to everything in the file. It will be applied to other forms that even already created. Imagine if you have 10 forms, and each form is for a specific audience. One form is for just simple users who are outside the company. Another form for employees, and so on. Each form has a little bit of pictures, a little bit of alignment, a little bit of formats, and so on. If you choose the themes, it will be applied to everything. It will change everything. And it also will change reports. Reports, most importantly, have specific formats for every specific management group. Some management like the light colors, some of them like the dark colors, and so on. Some of them like bold headers, some of them don't, some of them, and so on. If you choose themes, it will be applied to everything in the file, which is not good. It's not good in practice. You should go ahead and format each form based on the requirements of that form requester. So the reason I do not want you to use theme is that it will be applied to everything in the file, and this is not good practice. And because I want you to work a little bit harder to make the format manually. Okay, other questions? Other questions? Good. Now, I'll go to the design here. I'll go to the property sheet. And I'll go to the ID here. I want to do a small thing here. Just give me half a minute. Why do I want to do this? Because another split. I'll go to split vertically like this. I'll tell you why I did this. Merge. So I put the ID here. You can see. Now the property sheet. You can see in the property sheet, I can change. See this item, which is a field of paid? There is lots of things in here. There are many things that you can change when it comes to format properties. And it's about format, looks, and feel. The data property is things about what comes in the field, what goes out of the field as display. The event property is about when that property is clicked or moved and so on. You don't need actually to know why they are there, but you can know that these are properties for items in the form. And I will choose one property from here and tell you to do it, and I will choose another one from the data and tell you to do it. Okay. For the format tab, there is a property called visible. What do you think a visible here means? If it is yes or no? See the yes or no?
It is shown to the audience, maybe?
Yes, it will. If it is visible, yes, it means it will be shown to the user, yes.
The user.
And if it is no, it will not be shown. So I want to make the ID not visible. I decided that because, the ID here, you can see it is, okay, yes, it is an auto number. And if you remember, an auto number is something that the user will not enter. It will be assigned, it will be randomly assigned for any kind of record. The user will not enter anything there. He cannot modify anything there. So I want the form, I just want the form to not have this ID. So I can click in the item and go to format, and I go to visible and I choose no. And in the item of format, visible and no. So I made these invisible. Why am I still seeing it here?
So, Mr.
Yes.
They will be automatically dragged when the user opens the forms?
Before I take your question, I want you to answer my question. I made these invisible. So it is visible, no? And this is visible, no, here.
Yes.
Why am I still seeing it here? Why I still see it here?
Because you are the one who can...
Yes, and this is how I want you to think when you do forms and reports. You are the one, and tables and queries and so on. You are the one who designed it, yet. But if I click here and I go to form view, it is not there. If I go back to the layout, it is there. If I go to the form, it is not there. So the user will not see it. So this is the visible thing. Before I take your question, ظاهر ما ادري نسيت اسمك والله ابو 50 اعتقد. Before I take your question, there is one more thing in the property sheet, which is in data default value. The default value is what kind of value you want to show to the user when they enter the form to create a new record. For example, I want the paid here. I want the default value to be yes. And here in the note, I will put the default value. Please write some notes about the order if necessary. I think that's the spelling. So I made this, so I will see if it will show. If I go in there and below, you don't need to know this, but there is an arrow here with a yellow star. If you click it, you will see a new form. When you publish this form actually to the user, they will not see this. Yeah, they will see other scales. But for now, for this course, you can use this. And see now, this is a new form. I can enter it as a user. And you can see this is a default value. See, it gave me some default value in there. One more thing here in the toolbar below there, I can go to the previous record. See, I'm going to the previous records. Every record in the table, I can see it, and so on. It is another view of the table. But in real life, when it goes to the user, they don't see it this way. And when you create a profile in Facebook or Snapchat, you will not see this. You cannot go back, but you will just see a new record like this. Tells you please put your email, put your stuff. So this is everything regarding the form except the button. Before I go to the button, I think you have a question. من 50 أو من someone has a question.
Yes.
Yes. إيه 50.
Yes. Why do we put yes in paid space or paid section?
Yes. I just made a default value here. You can see. I can make it no. The default value means what is the default value in this field when the user open this form.
What about ID?
Yeah, the ID is not something the user will put, right? You remember in the table, the ID will not do it. Yani, I will give you another example of why sometimes using default value is easier for the user. And by the way, forms and reports, its main objective is to make it clearer to the user at the end. And I'll give you an example. If you, for example, downloaded a delivery application like Hunger Station, something that is very popular in Saudi, and you choose the country. What do you think whoever will design that database of that application, what do you think the default country to be shown? Because they will choose it from a list. And this application is used mostly in Saudi Arabia. What do you think the default country will be?
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, but also the user can change it. But this is the default. This is the default. Another example is that, for example, if there is a website that is mainly for students, and in that website, in the profile, it asks, what is your job or something like this. And this website is basically for students. And in the list, there is student, employee, self-employed, and so on. The default value will be also student. Why? Because most users are students, and so on. This is why the default value is always used.
So can we make a list with the default value?
Yes, you can make a list of 10 items maybe. And where do you do that? You remember when we take a list here, when we create a list here, remember?
With the lookup value or
yeah. For example, you have a list of cities here, right?
Yeah.
When you have a list here in the form, you will see and automatically the list there already put. For example, if the list has Riyadh, Dammam, Jeddah, the list will be there. Of course, the first item will be shown اللي أنت كتبت في البداية اللي هو رياض. But you can go, for example, if this is the city, you can go to the default value and you make the default to be Jeddah from that list, and so on. And the list will be created already أصلا because it is derived from the table. If the table, that field has a list, the list will be shown. If that table is only numbers, that it will be only numbers. If it is currency, it will be currency.
So it depends on the tables.
Sorry?
It depends on the tables.
Yes, actually, this whole form was created from the order table. You remember?
Yes.
Before you- and it derives every characteristic of that table into the form automatically. It
Yes.
derives it takes all the features of that table, of that field. If it is a number, if it is a text, if it is a list, if it is limited,